And welcome back. We're joined now by California Congressman Devin Nunes. He is the ranking member on the House Intelligence Committee. Sir, thank you very much for making time for us today. Congressman, there have been a lot of accusations with respect to this recount in terms of outright fraud, process issues. There's a lot of smoke out there, but a lot of people are starting to ask, where's the fire? What do you think is the president's best course of action here at this point?
Well, the way I view this is that any close election, whether you're running for mayor or a member of Congress, you have to remember there's still races in the House of Representatives that hasn't been called yet, have not been called yet. So I think you need to go through each state, ensure where there's irregularities. Let's take the time and get it done. And I, for one, don't understand why Biden and his team, after getting smashed in every election outside of the presidency, why Biden wouldn't want to make sure that every vote is counted, every vote is legal. And it seems to me like if they want to go in with a strong position, being the president-elect, they should stop putting together phony basement president-elect backgrounds doing what looks like, 70s game show type stuff, and come out to the American people and say, look, President Trump is still president. We need to make sure this is a free and fair election. We don't see any problems with any of these 30 states that use this company Dominion. That's what the Biden team should be doing. The fact that they're not, and the fact that the media continues to try to cover this up, I think just gives me a little bit of pause and say, well, look, what do you have to hide? If you supposedly got 300 electoral votes. Why not go in there and make sure these votes are all counted?
Yeah, they're just trying to push Donald Trump off the stage as fast as humanly possible. Look, Biden's already lied twice. He lied during the debate. He said that he would not declare a victory until the vote was certified, until the votes were counted. Then he asked people to have patience with respect to the process, and the next day he declared victory. The campaign has raised a number of legitimate issues here in terms of process, constitutional issues. How do we get states to address these problems? Like Nevada, for instance, not scrubbing their voter rolls, or ballots being cured in one Wisconsin county but not cured in others. Is there a role for Congress in this in some fashion to try and establish some standards? Is it the role of a member of Congress to try and pressure state legislative leaders to fix some of these systemic issues that we're uncovering here?
So you raise a number of issues there, and this is always the battle between federal and state governments, and what responsibility lies with the state. So judging how many of these states now want to go to absentee ballots mailed everywhere, including here in my state of California. It's a total disaster. You're starting to see this in these other states. So federally, I believe that it should be the position of Republicans to say that, look, if you're going to have absentee ballots, fine, but they need to be counted on election day. None of this post-election day counting. That causes nothing but chaos. It's where you have these issues of ballots that come in later. So it's already a chain of custody issue. So federally, we can actually pass a bill that would allow that to happen. As it relates, there's a lot of different states here, Chris, that I can go into in some detail. Nevada is a separate situation because you have a county problem there in Nevada. This was actually Clark County, which has, don't quote me on this, but or hold me to this, I think 2/3 of the population. So there's a problem in Clark County. Essentially in Michigan, there's a problem in Wayne County and one other county. There's a problem, the problem in Wisconsin is 2 counties. The problem in Pennsylvania is 2 counties. And so where Republicans have control of the state legislature, they are moving forward. I just heard that the Michigan state legislature is going to move forward to look and make sure and analyze what happened in Michigan's voting, especially in Wayne County. These are all the things that need to happen, because if not, you've got millions of Americans, 70+ million, that are going to be disenfranchised with what happened here. And that's why I just go back to, what do they have to hide? Why not just come clean and say, look, let's make sure that every vote counts, exactly to what you said of what Biden was saying before this, before Election Day.
Right, but before his handlers told him, yeah, you know what, it's time. You have to go out there and declare a victory. Congressman, I want to look ahead a little bit. People are really furious, and it's not just about the recount. It's about the fact that when corruption is exposed Nothing seems to happen in Washington. We've got the Durham probe, which is ongoing. They're saying that maybe if Biden's the president, that he could end that. The Clinton Foundation probe, abuse of power in the Flynn case, the IRS scandal, going back into the to Obama, the consumer spying scandal, Clinton emails, Benghazi. Congress says that they're going to act to provide oversight, but it just seems like nobody pays a price. How do we take the country back from a class of, unelected bureaucrats and permanently elected officials who seem to be totally untouchable?
Yeah. So the main thing you have to remember is that when we had the gavel, for example, no one would have found out. There'd be no Durham investigation if it wasn't for the House Republicans.
That's right.
When you had a dirty DOJ and a dirty FBI and a Senate that wasn't doing anything, it was only myself and the Republicans on my committee. Because we held the gavel, we were able to determine and get to the bottom of exactly what had happened in terms of the Clinton campaign feeding the FBI. So I think that opened a lot of people's eyes. Donald Trump, in many ways, won in 2016 because he was talking about the swamp. He was talking about Clinton had been there forever. Are we going to have a revolving door of Clintons and Obamas? These are all issues that Trump won on in 2016. When you fast forward to what we unearthed, it only took us a couple of years, but we unearthed it. But like you and like millions of Americans, I'm extremely frustrated. I'd use a bad word, but I don't want to get you guys in trouble with the FCC. And I would say there's no one except for the President of the United States that's more ticked off than me because I'm the one that's taken the scrutiny and the fake news stories over the course of 4 years.
Yep.
Whether it's me, my family, my staff, anybody who's ever known me, including my old high school buddies. So I know how dirty and evil these people are, and I want them to pay a price. But the American people that are listening to your show need to understand Congress is the legislative branch of government. All we can do is do criminal referrals, of which I've done 14 criminal referrals involving dozens and dozens of people. But we don't carry guns and we don't have handcuffs. And that's really what we're looking at right now. So we're in a fight for the heart and stability of this country right now, which is why, going back to what we were just talking about, it's why it's so important and critical to make sure that the election results here are right. And if they're not, we're getting to a place of no return where you're going to have the legislative branch of government where people are not even going to be able to talk to each other any longer because the left is becoming so radicalized. And I could give you example would take the rest of your show to talk about it.
Yeah, well, look, it's no secret that they want to demonize and destroy anybody that disagrees with them. And we know that you're on the front lines, and you're one of the few people who are really fighting this. We appreciate you being here. Congressman Devin Nunes, thank you so much.
Chris, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.